Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, the 3rd of March, and welcome to episode 6 of my crafting vlog. I am Kaylee from KW Crochet, and this is where I share and chat about all things I'm crocheting, knitting, any yarn that I've had, future projects, and sometimes the other odd little craft sprinkled in there as well. But I'm all out of sync now because I was trying to get these done on a Friday, and I aimed to do one last Friday, ran out of time, so here we are today. But I've got some finished projects, I've got some stuff I've made a little bit of progress on. I think one I'm not sure if I've made any progress on since I last showed you, but I'll show you anyway. Things I'm planning on doing, because I finished a rather large project, which you might have noticed already, so I've got lots of ideas going on in my head for other projects I can start now. I've got some yarn. I literally was waiting for my yarn subscription from Under the Olive Tree to come before I was going to do this video, because I had an email to set up a dispatch. Sat there, thought, right, I'll have my lunch. If it hasn't come by then, I can't leave it any later. Literally stood up to come and do this video. Post, he knocked on the door. So I haven't even looked at it myself yet, so we've got that to look at. Very brief look at how my goals for 2025 are going, because my finished project was one of those. That means I've had quite a jump for yarn out. And then I thought I'd have a quick chat about what I'm hoping to find at the East Anglian Yarn Festival, because that is less than 2 weeks away now. First up, let's have a look at some finished projects. So I've only got two, one of which is rather large, which you can see already, but I'm going to show you the smaller one first. These, I think I told you about these last time. You might have seen these elsewhere finished already. Actually, let me get my... I always forget to do this. Get my makeshift sock blockers. Whoops. I said in my last video that I was hoping to have these finished. I mean, it's been a while since I did a video, so if these weren't finished, I didn't really have an excuse, because it's been ages. I think my cardboard sock blockers need a bit of reinforcement soon. Getting a bit... I'll do just one. You don't want to watch me doing that. But there they are. DK weight vanilla socks. This was, well, they're both Siobhan's Crafts yarns. This one I can't remember when I got. This one was from a Christmas set that I got. I made a pair of Christmas socks where the main part was green, and then the heel, toe and the cuff was red. So I thought I'd mix in the green with this, because they're kind of the same yarn but green version and purple version. So yeah, they're finished. I have actually worn them once already as well. No, I haven't. That's a lie. That was my Christmas pair that I wore. Getting confused. But yeah, I made these slightly bigger than I normally do, because sometimes I have issues with them around here being a bit tight, which has meant they're the teeniest bit loose, but they'll be my nice cozy socks. So yes, they are a finished project. I should say the pattern is Crazy Sock Lady, her DK vanilla sock pattern. So yes, the other finished project, if you haven't noticed already, is my Daft Days cardigan. This, as I've said many times already, is the knit along for the East Anglian Yarn Festival. My sister's doing the crochet along, and she's getting on really well with hers as well. But mine is finished. So let's see if I can... Again, you might have seen this elsewhere. I haven't done a proper video of it. I did a very quick pre and post blocking video. But there it is. It fits so much better after blocking it. So much better. But I haven't added any buttons yet. I'm not sure if I will. I think I've got a bit of a stash in there actually. I'll have a look through those. If not, I will have a nosy at the Yarn Festival. But it's the Sparkle yarn, DK weight. It's my Advent yarn from Curated Yarn Co. I didn't use all of the colours. I used mostly all of the kind of brighter colours. Some of them had a bit of bare yarn and were more speckled, so I left those out because I was using the bare yarn as the kind of base colour, main colour, contrast colour, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I was a bit worried with how a round kind of net cardi was going to suit me, but I'm pleased with that. I just need to decide how I'm going to wear it to the Yarn Festival. Pair of jeans, just a white top underneath probably. So yeah, I'm so pleased with it. And like I say, once I blocked it, it just feels, the drape is really nice, and the colours of this yarn are absolutely gorgeous. I need to just make sure I wear it elsewhere as well. It's really like springtime cardi, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I was a bit worried with the arms because she notes in the pattern, I should say, I don't think I've said it, this is the Daft Days cardigan by Rebecca Clow. And when I did the arms, she'd said in the pattern that some people found them a bit tight. So to either go up a side, go up a needle size. Well, I went up a size for the sleeves compared to the body. I think I did the body in a size 4, went up for the sleeves. And I thought I'd also gone up a needle size. Turns out I didn't. I'd forgotten what needles I'd used for like ribbing and stuff, but it didn't matter because I'd gone up a size and they're literally perfect. I mean, look at that. It's not too tight, but it's not baggy. But yeah, perfect length sleeves, which I'm well impressed with after blocking. Yeah, this is my best fitting thing that I've made for myself so far. And it is actually undoubtedly the most expensive piece of clothing I own. Because this is all hand-dyed yarn. But I love it. I really, 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 really love it. Every time I walk past it, I'm like touching it and I like try it on quick. But yeah, so pleased with it. And I hope you like it as well. But yes, I've lost track now because I'm so excited about having this cardigan finished. That was it. That's it for finished projects. I have forgotten to bring in one of my things that I've made the tiniest bit of progress on. I won't bother to go and get it because it was my crochet scrap blanket. I'm doing a moss stitch. Actually, I am going to go and get it. Here we are. If I don't get it, I'm going to just sit there rambling and trying to explain what it is that I'm doing and what it is that I've done. I'm terrible. I always just leave the hooks in rather than putting a stitch marker in, which means probably pull out a few stitches every time, using my new favourite Clover Amour crochet hooks. Right, so it's not going to look like I've done very much compared to before, if you can actually remember what it was like before. I'm doing moss stitch in the round in like reverse rainbow colour order. So I've done my purples, done my pinks. This is all my kind of, say scraps, but it's not all scraps, it's just yarn that I haven't used, yarn that I've maybe inherited. But I finished this blue and I have started the next blue, which is this lighter one. So do a little bit more blue and then I'll move on to the greens. But this is getting pretty sizable already. It's keeping me nice and warm while I was crocheting it yesterday, which I do like. I like when a blanket is usable at the same time as making it. So yes, making a little bit of progress on that. This one is quite nice because I don't have to concentrate, don't have to worry about a pattern. I can pick it up and put it down. It's pretty mindless. So that is definitely going to be a very, very long-term project, that one. The rounds are already feeling like they take forever. So rather than deciding to sit and do however many rounds, I just sit, do whatever I feel like doing, then put it back down again. So we'll see if that even gets finished this year, to be honest. The other thing I'm going to very briefly show you, because I don't know whether I've made any progress on, is these. Now that I've finished my cardi, because of course this kind of had a deadline, I can get back to my follow your path socks. And again, on the camera you can't necessarily see very well. These are a Crazy Sock Lady pattern. I'm using some yarn subscription yarn from Under the Olive Tree. Misty Morning. I usually get it wrong. I usually say Frosty Morning instead of Misty Morning, I think. I'm sure it's Misty Morning. But doesn't want to focus very well again. If I pull it apart, you can kind of see it. Kind of, there's a twisting. It's not cables, but there's just a bit of texture there. So yeah, I can concentrate a bit more on those now. Move those to one side. And again, I'm doing both socks at the same time. So whichever has got the least worked on it is the one that I pick up. I'm trying to see if that makes me any quicker. Not really the best example because they're a bit more textured. I haven't been picking up and putting them down as much as I would with a vanilla sock, but my next pair of vanilla socks that I do, I will be doing that as well. Actually, that is the next thing that I'm moving on to. So my plans now that this is finished, my head is absolutely buzzing with what I want to make next. Almost to the point where I don't really know what to do. So it's stopping me from making anything. But my last video, I asked you to pick the colour for my next pair of vanilla socks. And thank you very, 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 very much for the few of you that commented. I am very grateful. And one of you suggested something that I don't know why I've not even thought of this, and that was to mix up the colours for my, let me forward a little bit, with my Grinch yarns. I don't know why in my head it was like, well, that's a pair of socks, that's a pair of socks, but those being a pair of socks and those being a pair of socks would be pretty cool. So I think a couple of you suggested this one of which said mix it with this one. So that is going to be my next vanilla sock project. Probably the bright ones. That with that. So I'll have to cake that up. I should say this is my weekly advent yarn from Giddy Yarns. Sparkle sock base. Sparkle, 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 of course. The only thing I do need to do is I've not quite got the hang of using a sock set yet. I've only used them properly maybe twice, and both times I kind of ran out of one or the other a bit too quickly. So I need to have a look at those and adjust my number of rows that I do accordingly. But yes, I'm going to get those caked up and do that. Thank you very much for choosing those for me. And they are cool. So the pink one is the Grinch's heart, small heart grew 3 times that day. They were Grinch themed. And then the Grinch hated Christmas. So that's quite cool that they go together. It's like him at the beginning, him at the end. So yeah, I'll cake those up and I'm going to use those. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to caking those up today. I was going to do it this morning. And I didn't get time. But yes. And then, let me just turn my notes back on. Then, the other thing I've actually sat this weekend and made is, on my list of things that I want to do this year, was this book. Some things in this book. So, and I forced myself not to do it until I finished this. So I have made a start on, I can't remember what his name is. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Noodles, the smallest gnome. So this one. This book is Sarah Schira, Gnomes of Grimblewood. And this is my faceless arm. Well, they're all faceless, I suppose. They have a nose and a beard and some arms. I haven't done those bits yet. But look at that. This is yarn that I had left over from a shawl kit that I bought from Giddy Yarns for the East Anglian Yarn Festival, not last year, the year before. And I thought those colours would be perfect. I've put a little bit of rice in the bottom to weight it. I've never done like a stuffed knitting project before, so I'm quite used to the crochet. I was a bit conscious that I didn't want to put too much in and stretch it, but this is going to be just a little ornament anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered a huge amount. But yeah, those colours, I really love these colours. Like a darker purple and then a lighter purple. I haven't done his nose and arms yet because I thought I didn't have any like bare yarn, which is the colour I wanted to use in sock weight. But I've just realised that up here I've got some 4-ply in acrylic, which I don't think matters. This is obviously hand-dyed like merino wool. I don't think that's going to matter. It's only for his hands, his nose and his beard. His arms are obviously the colour of his body. But yeah, he's so cute. I can't wait to add to my little gnome collection. And I'm looking forward to seeing what little gnome sets of yarn Giddy Yarns has at the Yarn Festival. So yeah, I've got to finish him. That won't take long though, now that I've realised I've actually got the yarn. What else have we got? I've started something else. So, I said I wanted to do a scrap crochet blanket and a scrap knitting blanket this year. And I've started the knit one. I actually started it this morning while I was sitting there waiting for my yarn subscription to arrive. And it's the Jelly Roll blanket. I cannot remember the designer, which is a shame. Jelly Roll blanket. If you type in jelly roll blanket on Ravelry, it will come up. And you make strips. What I like about this is you don't need to know how much of each colour you need, and that's kind of the point with a scrap blanket. So I've started this purple. This was from the scraps from the socks, as you can probably tell. So you just knit strips, and when you run out of the colour, you change to the next one. And then when there's no seaming either, so when you start the next strip, I'm sure you attach it to this one as well. So yeah, I should be able to use up virtually like every inch of scrap that I have. I've moved on to the green. The other thing is that I think will be pretty cool, I'm not getting that out, is like I've got a vase of like a big bowl of scraps in there, glass one, and when you look at it, it's almost like a museum of my previous projects, because you can say, oh, that came from that dinosaur, or that came from that blanket. There's like little groups of ends, and it's like a look back at all the projects you've made. And this, I'm trying to do this in the same way. So these are obviously scraps from those socks, so when the blanket is finished, it would be really nice if I could like hold it up and go like, oh yeah, they were from that, they were from that, they were from that. Almost like a record of my projects as well. But I do love the drape on this. One thing I haven't decided is whether I'm going to do like a DK version. So this is DK yarn, DK version, and also a 4-ply fingering weight version, or do I just stick with the one blanket, do it as DK weight, and then all of my sock yarn I can just double up when I get to those strips. I'm feeling like that is the way I'm going to go, because to have 2 blankets, I've already got my crochet one, and then to have 2 knit ones on top of that, I feel like it's too much, and I'm going to have to end up with so many scraps that I think I'm going to stick with doubling up the 4-ply. But let me know what you think. Should I double up the 4-ply to add to my DK weight blanket, or should I have a DK weight and a 4-ply blanket? Let me know what you think. So yes, the other thing I do need to start, my daughter is bugging me because it is going to be for her, is my Taylor Swift blanket. I've got a Taylor Swift yarn subscription this year with Wildflower Yarn. I get 100 grams of DK sparkle weight yarn every month. This month's will be coming very, very soon. It's a shame I couldn't wait to do this video before that came, but you'll see that next time. I'm just struggling to nail a stitch. She keeps asking me, have you started that? Have you started that yet? I want to do 1 square per skein. There's going to be obviously 12, so like a 3x4 blanket. And I want a stitch where I can carry on going until I run out. I thought corner to corner, but I can't. Obviously I need to, it's going to be a bit of trial and error, knowing when to start my decreases. And I kind of want one that I can work in the round. Don't want to do moss stitch because I've got my moss stitch blanket. Don't really want to do a granny square, but maybe I'll let her decide. I might just, I was looking at alpine stitch squares because they look pretty cool, but I think I'll get her to have a look and get her to pick. It's going to be her blanket at the end of the day, so I think the easiest thing is probably to let her pick. Maybe we'll do that tonight. So yeah, I need to get that started. Right, onto my yarn subscription. Like I say, I haven't looked at this yet. I get this from Under the Olive Tree. I get 1 skein of sock yarn every month. This is for March, so let's have a look. These are, this year she's taking photos from people, and then she's picking a photo for each month that she's been sent to base the yarn club on. And then I think if your picture is picked, you get an extra skein of it or something. Oh, this is looking like it's going to be nice. Oh, look at that stitch marker. So, March 2025, Garden Petals. Emma says by Emma Pete is the photo. Haven't showed you the photo. There we go. That might be helpful. Emma says, roses from my garden. They're beautiful old roses with a lovely fragrance. The colours are very soft, like luxury yarn. They look amazing. They're very vintagey coloured. I bet they smell amazing too. And Jem says, who is the yarn dart, I love the softness and romance of these delicate petal colours. As tempted as I was to speckle with greens and dark browns, I decided to keep this one as a gentle tonal colourway. The colours would work beautifully paired with a green for the perfect springtime project. Oh, look at that. Always get a little stitch marker as well. And it's probably not going to show you very well because it doesn't like to focus, but it's a little clear rose. Let me take it off. clear rose with the little leaves on it as well. That's really cute. I know you can't really see that very well, but I tried. So let's put that back on there, and let's have a look at the yarn. So I normally do the reveal video over on TikTok, but I thought I'd do it here today. Oh, look at that. Oh, this reminds me a little bit. So there it is. It's like really soft peaches, garden petals. That is gorgeous once again. Actually, that reminds me a little bit of the roses we had at our wedding. They were like a peach colour. The sun is shining a bit bright from like one direction in here. Actually, that's pretty good. That looks like it's showing you. This reminds me a little bit of one that is not apparently in here. Anyway, ignore me. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous peaches. And like pinks. Let's have a look at it with the, it's perfect. Look at that. Always amazes me. Sun has been a pain. Amazes me the colour matches with these. But that is absolutely gorgeous. I think that will be a nice, might do a textured pair of socks with that when I eventually get to it. Really, really nice, that one. Really nice. So yes, I'm excited to use that. So 2025 goals, I have not written down. Obviously this was on the list, so I can do that, a massive tick for that. And then the gnomes on the list, so I can soon tick that off for making one of those. And then I'm also tracking yarn in and yarn out. So I weighed this. I was quite excited about the number for this out. 604 grams, which is just in time for the yarn festival, because, you know, if I buy 600 grams worth of yarn, we're even. I mean, I have just had 100 grams in. Need to remember to add that. But yes, 604 grams of yarn here. Plenty left to use. One of these colours actually, well, I remember one of these colours, I got to the end of the last round and I had like literally like that much left. So perfect advent project for me. So yeah, that was a very vague look at my goals for 2025, but yeah, tick this off, and I'm still keeping track of my yarn and my gnomes I've made a start on. So I also thought I'd have a quick chat about the East Anglian Yarn Festival, because it was 2 weeks away this Saturday just gone. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's now 12 days away, and I'm rather excited. I don't have much of a list of what I'm looking for this year. Previous years I've had something I'm aiming to look for, which is nice, but it leaves less room for picking up stuff as you see it, because obviously, you know, we all have a budget and you're only there for a certain amount of time. But the first year we went, because I go with my sister every year, first year we went, I'd never been to one before, so I didn't really have anything in mind, and it was a bit, not overwhelming, but you were a bit like, oh wow, look at this kind of community, look at all this stuff that they do, all these kits, all these extras, everything. So I did come away with a couple of kits that year. Can't remember what else. I get the tote bag every year. They have a new design of tote bag every year. But yeah, then the second year, I wanted to focus a bit more on my knitting, because the first year I only crocheted, didn't do any knitting. Second year I decided, right, I want to get into my knitting. Had done a little bit, so got a couple of kits for that, because I feel like that's always the easiest way to kind of make sure you've got everything you need. Then got a couple of kits, a couple of shawls. Actually, that was when I bought the shawl that this is the yarn from. Made that. And I also bought that year some spinning stuff. So I got a drop spindle, and actually you can see a tiny little bit just there. I got some fibre, and I really enjoy doing that. I need to get that out again actually, because I do enjoy doing that. yeah, I was kind of intrigued by that before we went, and got myself kit to do that and the fibre. And then last year I went knowing that I wanted an interchangeable knitting needle set, because I'd bought the kits the previous year, got on well with it, was enjoying my knitting, wanted an interchangeable needle set, because every time I went to do a project I either didn't have the right length cable, the right size needle, or whatever. So yeah, I wanted that, which I got. I got the Knit Pro Mindful set, which I've loved. I've had no issue with it, but then I've got no comparison to make. But yeah, I've loved that. And I also wanted sock yarn. I wanted to... Socks I found a bit daunting. So I had tried some in some kind of off the shelf, I think it was in West Yorkshire Spinner stuff, which was good. And I wanted to treat myself to some like self-striping and some nice hand-dyed stuff to make some socks from. But this year, the only things on my list are wool wash, and the Giddy Yarns is going to do some gnome sets, because most of the gnomes only use kind of three colours, I think. You can use more. A lot of them only use 3-4 colours, and she's going to have like sets of 3 mini skeins, which I'm really hoping to get some of. She has said she's going to have them there, so they are the only 2 things I absolutely want, and it's going to be really nice. I've really enjoyed every single year, but it'll be really nice. Oh, and my tote bag. I'm getting my tote bag, because that is just tradition. But it'll be really nice to have more of a browse and decide what I want when I get there, decide what I want based on what I see when I get there, rather than thinking, right, well I need that, that and that, so I'll get that, that and that, and then see if I've got any money left. So yeah, I don't know what else I'm looking for. It's going to be a nice mooch around. They usually have some nice cakes and stuff. We usually do 1 lap. We get the earliest ticket we can, do 1 lap of browsing, unless we see anything we really like. And then get something to eat, and then do 2, if not 3, if not 4 laps where we decide what we're going to get that year. So yeah, cat's just jumped up there and is now staring at me. Not our cat, we don't have a cat. I'm allergic to them. Anyway, but yes, I'm really looking forward to having a mooch, coming back with... I don't even know what I'm going to come back with, but I will definitely obviously show you. I was going to wait to talk about East Anglian Yarn Festival, but I don't know if I'm going to get a video in before then. It'll be nice to have talked about what I want to get and see how much I end up coming back with. So yeah, I think that is it this week. Lots of rambling, lots of talk about the Yarn Festival again, but that's because I'm just so excited about it. So yeah, happy crafting for the week. I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. Bye.